Welcome back. It is currently Wednesday morning. We're out here running reefer hours, I guess. So where we left off, we had a pretty. This guy going by, scrolling through his phone. Doo-doo-doo. Um, we had a pretty big delay at the shipper. So we rolled in there, got checked in. There was two trucks up on top there waiting ahead of me, and there was one down below. It was a little hill you had to go down, and there was one down there staged up to get loaded. So I had three trucks ahead of me entirely, and we got there at 2 in the afternoon. Got harassed by the broker the entire time we were there, and it took them 5 hours to get to me before we started loading me. So then once they started loading up like that, our loads were pretty easy. I have just like it's racking, like storage racking. I've got basically just the pieces that lock the verticals together, to which you put your supports and your shelves, your shelving material on. And they said it was going to be like 40,000 pounds. The paperwork only says it's like 22,000, so it's not crazy. Really, a relatively super light load. It's real low profile. We're doing pretty good. We got, what did we get yesterday? It was like we went anywhere from 7.9 to 8.5 miles per gallon. So depending on the hills and that situation. Um, so we're doing all right there. But man, running reefer hours, that sucks, man. So we got loaded. They started loading us at 7 at night. We got out of there about 8 o'clock at night, and there was an O'Reilly's at the end of the driveway. I spun it in there and backed up behind the store, and I talked to them, and they're like, "Yeah, it's cool." So I took my rest of my break there. I'm like, you might as well. What am I going to do? I had about an hour and a half left, and you're right by Atlanta, and we're in the middle of like nowhere basically. So it would have took me that to get over towards Atlanta area to go north. And you know damn well every truck stop's going to be packed full, so you ain't got nowhere to sleep, and then you got to start another 10 right then. So no, you're better off. I just sat there, and we're going to get up and run. And the broker was still harassing me that whole time, saying, "Hey, well, what time you think you're going to? Are we still good for 12 noon on Wednesday? That would be today." I'm like, yeah, highly unlikely, man. I mean, it's over 1,200 miles you want me to do in a day and a half. I mean, that's cutting it pretty tight. And I said, and he's like, "Well, what about 5?" I'm like, he's like, "Can you be there by 5?" I'm like, I'll do my best. When I'm not guaranteeing shit at this point. You know, you done dropped the ball at step one. Don't expect me to make everything else fit because you screwed up the first part, right? It's not, at this point, it's not my problem anymore. It is because it's on my trailer, but it's going to be there when it gets there. But I didn't tell him that. I'm like, that's just kind of how I feel about the situation. But so we got up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we trucked her hard all day yesterday. I had to stop and take a nap because I was whooped by Nashville. So we took a little hour and a half nap there. got up by St. Louis right about 3:30-ish, and we had to park just west. We're on I-70 right now. We had to park just west of St. Louis. We stopped and we had 7 minutes left on the drive line for the day. So I mean we're out here running reefer hours and we're pushing her to the limit. That's cutting her pretty tight. And here we are again. It is 2:30 in the morning. We got a truck. We're trucking across 70. We're going to go towards Kansas City. And we are going to catch 29 North. And 29 North is going to take us up by Omaha, Council Bluffs area, and just keep taking that up. Like I said, this goes to the southwest corner of Minnesota. So this is going to take us right up there. And we did some searching quick, so we got to our stop yesterday. Checked everything over. Went in, actually sat down and had a meal because it's been a long day. And sat down, had a meal, came back to the truck and said, you know what? We're done for the day. Basically turned the alarm on, put the phone down and out. It kind of wears you out when you're up at 2 a.m. and you're getting tired and you look at the clock and it's only like noon. It's kind of odd. And then when people are getting out of work, you're like, I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. It's running a different schedule than everybody it's not that great sometimes. I feel for the guys that run reefer. I've done that for a little bit, dabbled here and there. That is some goofy scheduling. You get a 2-3 a.m. delivery appointment and you got to be in a dock. You're pretty much, you can't say you're a night owl because I feel like you run most of the night and then you end up running most of the day as well. You don't get that much sleep running reefer. But anyways, so before we went to bed though, I was looking up, running through my apps, and cheapest fuel stop I found was just south of Omaha, and we're at half tanks now, so we'll make it there easy. Looks like that's going to be about $4.14 a gallon. It's not too bad, I guess. So the guys yesterday were talking on the radio. You listen to all these truckers that are lonely and they want to chit chat with just random strangers. I get a kick out of them. They were. I don't try to get too political on here, but they were trying to praise this administration for really getting the fuel prices down. Let that sink in for a minute. If you don't know how that works, if I'm selling you a candy bar, and it's 50 cents one day, and then I tell you the next day it's $3, and then I drop it down to $1.75, and you're like, oh my God, that's such a deal. Well, you were getting it for 50 cents before. Fuel was $2 a gallon. You crank it up to $6 a gallon and bring it down to $4 a gallon, and people are all impressed. You're paying double what you were paying. You're a fucking idiot if you think you're getting a deal. It's still overpriced. Don't fall for that crap, guys. It's easy for some people to get the fucking sheets pulled right over their head, and everything is looking good. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of dumb people. That's enough of that crap. So what we're looking at right now for GPS, GPS is showing we're going to be there. I got 514 miles left to go. We've got, it says about, right about noon, 12:07. But we got to do a half-hour break. Probably going to try to time that with our fueling. If we can combine those, for anybody that misunderstands that, they changed the ruling now. Your half-hour break can include, on duty time. It can include, 15 minutes of fueling and then 15 minutes. You can do the whole thing on duty. You can do it off duty. Obviously, if you're fueling, you have to be on duty though. But so we're going to try to time that together there and get that knocked out. I guess there's a big storm rolling in. I wanted to beat it. I wanted to get ahead of it, but this delay obviously is going to put me right in it. They're talking about possibility of snow today. We might be hitting snow by the time we get to the receiver. And then doesn't seem like it's going to be that bad though. I checked the weather there on that underground weather app that I showed you. They're showing possibly about 3 inches of snow there. Nothing, it doesn't seem too crazy yet. But they're talking about tonight. Tonight's going to be 17 below, and the winds are going to start picking up. Jesus. So the winds are going to pick up, which kind of sucks. Because we're going to be out of hours by the time we get to the receiver. And that means hopefully we should be able to unload and maybe get down the road a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to push as hard as I can. I don't want to be stuck at the receiver all night. And because it's supposed to get 17 below tonight. And then the winds pick up. And I don't want to be cruising across Minnesota empty on a flatbed when it's nasty. But we got to get home. We got to get home for the holidays, and frankly, I'm sick of being out here. We've been out. We're going on 2 weeks now. But when it's this cold, what we're going to do is what we did last night. So we threw it in the back of that O'Reilly's. I had to run in and get some more washer fluid. You got to have a spare of that on you, because when it's nasty out, that window's going to get dirty. They're going to burn through that stuff. And since I fueled up down south, I grabbed a full bottle. They didn't have any of the stuff we normally use, but I put a bunch of diesel treatment in because I knew I was heading north. It's going to start getting colder and colder and colder, and you don't want to fuel up down south and drive north with nothing in there. You're going to get into a bind real quick. So especially when the temps are getting this bad. Usually up north fuel's treated. It doesn't hurt to put a little extra in there. Do not, I repeat, do not top off your DEF tanks. Do not. Number one issue of a DEF tank, people that don't know what that is, diesel exhaust fluid. Number one issue is filling that tank up through the neck. You fill it up till it shuts off. Your DEF tank has a heater on it. The fill neck does not. So number one problem, what happens in the wintertime, guys pump it, and it shuts off. And then they go shut their truck off for the night. That DEF tank has a heater on it, but it doesn't have enough power to heat the fluid up in the neck. So what happens is, I've been told DEF freezes at 12 below. So what happens is your heater can unthaw the stuff in the tank, but then your neck is still frozen solid. So when you start to see, you'll start seeing your DEF fluid going down like you're using it normally. That's what system's working good. It's working fine. But your neck is frozen solid. So when you go to pump it in because you're empty or you're getting low and you can't get any in. And that's where guys are having to unthaw that. So be aware of that. I don't know how many people have talked about that or even know about that, but do not top that tank off. One question that I thought of the other day when I was fueling, I don't know if anybody knows about it. The reason why your DEF tank is plastic, and it is plastic, you know, some of you, I've got a like a chrome finish thing, whatever, on the outside, but you can tell, you can see the sides, it's plastic. I've been told that fluid can't touch metal, and when that fluid touches metal, that's when it starts to activate. Well, when you're pumping it out of when you're pumping it in, you know, at the fuel pump, it goes through your nozzle, it touches the metal nozzle. So, could somebody fill me in on that one? Is that nozzle made of a special metal or something? I don't know. I thought about that the other day, though. I was like, how does that work if that's the case? So a quick little tip on that. But so we're going to fuel up just south of Omaha. I'll probably throw some more treatment in just to cover my butt on that one a little bit. We should be able to get to the receiver today to knock this off. And I don't have a clue yet what we're doing after this. I know we're going home. Probably stopping at the yard. I got to talk to dispatcher today. My body is not liking this 2 a.m. stuff. And the cold, going from the hot to the cold. But we got to stop and talk to the dispatcher. See, drop off our paperwork at the office. See what loads we got available sitting in the yard to grab. And I think that'll be it for now. We're gonna get on down the road here.
Listening to a podcast kind of thing earlier. If you haven't checked it out, there's another YouTuber's channel is Nevada Trucking Trails. Go ahead and check that out. He shared a podcast. Sounds like it was 2 owner-operators, leased-on owner-operators with a company called Super Ego. If you haven't heard of them or seen them, they run like, every truck I've seen has been like a white Aero truck, Freightliner, kind of that sort of a deal. Dropnik all over the place. And the problem is that's creating a bad image for the rest of us. You know, so guess what's going to happen from that? They're going to get busted. All of the safety groups and all that are going to go up in arms, and because of the one company that is, frankly, if they're doing that, they're being completely negligent, 100%, and they're putting a bad image on everybody else. So we're going to get branded with that's what we all do, and more regulations will come down the pipeline from that. If we don't nip it in the butt now, you know, if it's that bad of a carrier, they need to go. Sounds like they run under all different sorts of names. They're brokering, I guess. They're getting limited to how many brokers they can run with, and I would definitely look into that if I was you. If you're working there, check that out. If you're thinking about working there, doesn't sound like it's a good place to work. But go ahead, go over to his channel and listen to that podcast. It's only about, I think it was 30 minutes or so. Just a quick little insight to how some of these companies can really screw you over. And that is not a good thing. And, you know, frankly, you know, it shouldn't take for them to kill somebody before we do something about it. You know, we can be self-regulatory in this business. We can be. And the reason why we're not is the reason why the government steps in so much. So if you know a company like that is just being just over the top, turn them in. You know, I don't want my kids on the road or something like that. You know, one of these guys runs into somebody, kills five people, 10 people, kills one person. It ain't worth it. You know, I don't want that to happen. So go ahead and check that podcast out. Check out Nevada's channel. Check out Hauling Cash. He's got a lot of great tips for winter maintenance, things to have on your truck. And, you know, it's great info. You know, if you're getting into this business, you may not know, and 20 below zero when your truck won't start is not the time you need to be finding out. Bridges like that, just let off the throttle when you're in slippery conditions. Just kind of coast across them. Makes your chances of slipping, and them bridges will freeze first. Makes your chances of slipping a lot less likely. It's about 20 degrees right now. We're coming up to our fuel stop. As soon as we cross over into Iowa, we had, I don't know if it was fog or what, but all of a sudden it was just a bunch of it. It was like it was freezing fog, just immediately flash froze on the windshield. So with the visors down like I run, put the defrost on high, put everything on as high as I can get it, as hot as I can get it. It didn't squirt the window at all. We were able to bring it back. It took a little bit, but we were able to bring it back. You can use your jakes in the winter. Be careful though. You know, if you need to know what you're doing there, because you can get into a bind real quick. If you're using jakes in the wintertime and you're on the jakes and all of a sudden you see your RPM start jumping, that means you're slipping. You're going to have to get off. just keep that in mind. Just take it nice and easy. But we're going to pull in here, top off our fuel, do our 30-minute break, and keep pushing forward. We've been doing good so far. This is the first part of any cold stuff that we've hit this whole trip. Just make sure you're cautious, make sure you're slowing down way in advance. Why is the broker calling me? The broker's calling me right now. I ain't even gonna answer it. You have an app. This is why you downloaded the app, so you didn't call me. So just take it easy, guys. I'm just hoping it ain't gonna get too nasty right away. We got a little ways to go yet. For some reason that cut the video off when the phone call might have been there. Not sure why it does that, but like I say, just take it nice and easy. Ain't in no hurry. I don't think I've ever been to this Love's, but it was showing 414 on the app. That's what it says on the board. I took cruise control off immediately as soon as I hit that flash freezing stuff. That will get you in a bind in a second. Especially as soon as you cross the bridges. If you got cruise control on, when you go across some bridges, if they're covered in ice, your tires will just take off on you and you'll kick out and you won't have any chance doing that. Oh, I've been here once before. A little bit of snow flurries flying too. Got just under 3/4 of depth, so I'm not even going to touch that. We're going to keep that a little bit lower just so we don't freeze anything up, but we're just going to top the fuel off, knock out this 30-minute, and see what we got in store for us after this. I'll get with you then. I saw on the satellite view is there's only one road that goes to this area, and there's only one entrance to the property. So then I looked for the street names. She pulled it up as well. The street names don't even exist in the area that we're at. She finally got a hold of the contractor. She finally got a hold of the contractor. The contractor on site said, I have no idea what you're even talking about. Everything's fine here. And as I mentioned that there was only one way in, he said, yeah, that's the only way in. Everything's fine. Come right on in. So I'm not too sure the broker knows their ass from a little hole. I know dispatch ain't too happy with this broker either. They will not reply anything about detention. So that's how that's going to go. Just kind of poking along here. We're about to get off in about a mile. I'm not going to get out in front of this snowplow and whip it around like these cars. It ain't worth it. We're doing about 58 right now. So depending on how far we're gonna have about an hour left on our drive time. Depending on how far away the shop is from here, I'm gonna try to make it over to the shop. Try to get away from the storm as fast and as much as possible. Over by the shop ain't too bad of a place to be. We're gonna have to take a 10. And I guess the wind's supposed to really start coming in tonight. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the property right now. So I'm getting off with the snowplow. Of course, he's gonna make a mess when he's doing this. Can't see a fucking thing. Yeah, some cars right up in my asshole right now. It'll take you long, I think. So we got to turn left up here. I really wish he would get his ass moving. I really don't want to stop on a hill in the snow. I'll guarantee we start slipping. But let's see what we get through here. Some cars that way. Really, it hasn't been that bad. It's getting pretty windy. It's getting pretty windy. It's coming from the east. I think we gotta go up here from what I saw. We go up here, we gotta turn left on Main Street. That's gonna take us right down, a little bit through town, and then right back out, kind of where we came from. If you're in Montana, I heard they're talking something about 70 below wind chills. That's definitely not something you want to be out in. says it's 13 degrees right now. I don't know if I believe that. I'm not sure if you're getting a bunch of noise right now. I got the defrost on high. I got the bunk heat going. The little flurries and stuff are melting, and they're freezing immediately to the windshield. Should be right past these railroad tracks. If I had to guess, it would be those stoplights. Usually stoplights on a main street. This is gonna be one of those, of course, there's a car coming. Wish they would get going. 'Cause I am really not planning on doing this. Oh, of course. Of course. Why not? Slowing her down a little bit, let me get enough heat on that window to start melting all that crap. It's definitely a change of scenery. Well, I haven't seen snow in a couple of weeks. I haven't even seen this much snow all year yet. The last 2 weeks we've been out east and down south. A little different to come home and do something like this. I ain't getting in no hurry. back in and figure this crap out. Alright guys, just like that, we are unloaded. Let's this thing is an ice rink. Let's see if we can even move this thing. Didn't take him long to unload it at all. Oh yeah. He was a little worried about it too. He's like, oh, maybe we should turn it. So you're sideways. We were not on the downhill slant. We were trying to go uphill empty on ice. It said there's a road. If you heard when we were coming in, that guy was talking about that road coming into the backside. He said if we go out that way, it'll be better. The way we came in, it says you try to go out that road empty, you're gonna, this is some guy's spin on the hills. You're up on that incline trying to leave here. So see how this is. It's obviously not maintained that well. We got our differential locked in though. So hopefully that helps. Shitty part is we haven't heard word about detention yet, you know, and as soon as we get the load off the trailer, that's when you kind of lose your bargaining power with the broker. But with the storms and stuff, I'm not about to sit here and dick around. We got here at 12:40. Not too bad considering our original appointment was for noon. 40 minutes late, even though they took us 5 hours to get us loaded. Look at this, you don't even know what's road and what's not road. Throttle out, right? Just let it rip. We got an hour and 27 minutes of drive time left. We got about 3.5, 4 hours to get to the shop, so we ain't gonna make it to the shop. Let's see, do we go left here? Or do we go straight? No, we definitely go straight. So we ain't gonna make the shop, but we're gonna try to make it somewhere. So an hour and a half from now, that puts us at about a 3 o'clock shutdown. That puts us at a 1 a.m. get up if we want to get up and get going. Get the fuck out of this storm. Looks like we got a bullhauler coming up. We're going to try to skedaddle out of his way. Now that I'm empty, I don't Well, he didn't make it last night. You ain't doing that many miles. Alright, well, I think we're going to cut this off here. We're going to truck on down the road, try to find a place to put her for a couple hours. Excuse me. And, get a hold of dispatch and see if they got something so